And we're live. It's been a while, Chris.
Yeah, Tim, I think he said it was November.
Really?
Yeah, last time we sat down.
Well, I've been doing it, but you haven't. You've been traveling the world, it seems.
Yeah.
I've been here slaving away, making sure this place keeps running.
That's funny. Yeah, we have another podcast that you did earlier this week, right? That's coming out soon with Michelle from Mantis.
Oh, yeah. That you just YouTube channel. Talking about the formal announcement of Canadian operations. We're weeks away, from launching. We'll be launching pressure washer packages first, and then we have an 18-month plan to roll out and have full a la carte OG everything solutions. We'll be able to provide design services and everything, the full OG suite in Canadian dollars, and Canadian shipping inside the hex, all that kind of stuff will be available for Canadian residents. And then who knows? Maybe this will be all a waste of time if U.S. and Canada merge. That'd be sweet. We're hoping that maybe we could just merge together and not have to deal with any of that.
Yeah, so for you Canadians, Philippe hasn't chimed in yet here in the chat, but Canadians, we're super close, and that podcast will be coming out soon on the YouTube channel. I guess there's more of a conversation that you and Michelle had. She's the you in Canada at Mantis.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's see here. We got a super chat already for $100 US.
Oh, our friend MWF80.
Yeah.
Our secret admirer. Thanks, man.
Says,
Appreciate it.
have a great weekend and $100. Nice. Thank you.
I'll give you 30 cents of that.
That's fine. I'll take what I can get. Let's see. AFH says our Inside the Hex vlog scaled back. I used to have it twice a week. Now it's twice a month.
Twice a week? Never. No. I just put one up today. So, yeah. I usually do it once a week on average. I didn't do one last week because I was at CES.
Perry Ocean Auto Designs. What are the details on the door insulation? Video's coming out, what, today or tomorrow?
I think today, yeah. So it's the installation's called Dorsolate. It's a magnetic system, right? So you would put this one is a Velcroed system. The original design was magnetic. And so you have a high-strength, high-heat adhesive that you would attach to your door surface. So you attach basically to the frame rails, or in Florida you'd put it on like the hurricane straps. You'd measure in between, mount it to that, and then it Velcros in place, and it cuts down on your heat by 80% or something crazy like that. So the way that it works, we're gonna have a whole solution, a whole installation process all set up for you. But essentially, what you'll do is you'll measure, a couple of spots on your door, and then you'll enter the measurements on the OG site, and then they'll make it. So they manufacture it, so it's built to order, and they ship it out to you. Installation takes 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on how proficient you are. And then it's insane how well it works. So it would replace the need to do like the foam in your door. It also helps in the winter as well, slightly. If you really wanted to go after it and not buy a full insulated door, you could do both. The foam insulation and then the radiant barrier stuff, or the Dorsolate on top of that. It's extremely thin. You're going to be able to get it in multiple colors, white, black, blue, red. And then there's a lower cost option where it's just basically a shiny white instead of a matte white. That's, I think, 25% less. It's going to be pretty sweet. I think like a normal size door is probably going to cost about $1,000 or so. Say $750 to $1,500 depending on how big your door is. And if you're going to put a mini split in your garage, it's 100% what you need. I mean, we put it on our commercial door here, completely transformed. It probably saves me $250 a month, maybe more, in electric bills on the HQ doors. But even on your home garage, it's imperative. If your door's already insulated, you don't need it. But if you're thinking about it, it's pretty freaking sweet.
James Strother says, "Hey Matt, have you looked at the new 2027 electric International Scouts? They're starting production in 2027. I've got a deposit on one. They're under the same ownership as Rivian, so Volkswagen owns them."
No. Yeah, that's kind of cool looking. I hadn't really spent any time thinking about it.
Looks like a Rivian.
Yeah. This will look pretty nice. The thing for electric with me is I want the AI. I want the self-driving. So I'm getting a Model S.
MX304 says they're using Rivian software and some hardware as well.
Mm.
Khalid wants to know, hey, Matt, have you tried P&S Defender yet?
No, I need to get some. I think maybe Tommy got it. No, I haven't tried it yet. It's on my list.
Our buddy Dan up in Minnesota. I bet it's cold up there today. Happy Friday, OG crew. Steven wants to know any updates on press-all tips.
Yeah, the order was placed, 3 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
We're estimating March 15th arrival, something like that.
That's a pretty good estimate.
Yeah, so mid-March is our current estimate, barring no production holdups. So they're expecting to ship sometime around mid-February. So we're hoping that they're done with production. We got an update that all the bottles are sent off to Fluorination, so they should be coming back here this week. We ordered, I think, 20,000 bottles and sprayers, like 20,000 completes, thousands of squeeze bottles, and then a lot of tips, a lot of spray heads, a lot of replacement parts that you can use with your original bottles. Your original bottles wouldn't be fluorinated, but as long as you're not using something like Tarex in it, the fluorination isn't 100% necessary. The new adhesive that Bryce has on the labels is pretty darn good as well, so they don't tend to bubble and fall off or peel. And so, but the new bottle sprayer atomizes better. It's a complete game changer.
Joseph says you were definitely right about needing 2 or more bottles of Traceless. My not obsessed but habit-supporting wife has stolen my first bottle and used it all over the house.
Yep.
She has since wanted me to ask you guys about your favorite product or way to clean real hardwood floors.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The way to clean any floor is the opposite of what anybody wants to do, and that is to have a bucket with water. And I would probably just use Dawn, like a heavily diluted Dawn, or you may want to use some, sort of hardwood floor cleaner. But you put the cleaner in a bucket. You only need a small bucket, like a 2-gallon or 1-gallon bucket, and you get a bunch of small towels, like a dozen of them, and you take a 4 foot by 4 foot area. And you got to get on your hands and knees, and you got to wipe it. Don't take the towel and put it back in that 1-gallon bucket. So only take fresh towels out of the bucket, and then you need big beach towels, big drying towels to go and dry it, and that's how you clean your darn floors. I'm not sure of the product. I don't think I've ever had real. I guess we have them in Helen, but I haven't cleaned those floors. But I've never really had real hardwood floors, so I'm not sure what product you would use, but I know the process would be that.
All right, let's see here. Sorry, I was searching that. Neil White says, hey, Matt, have you seen the new 2025 Ego lineup? I'm personally excited about the new battery-powered backpack 4-gallon sprayer. Definitely going to purchase that.
I hadn't looked at any of it. You guys are always so far ahead of me these days.
Let's see.
Right now I'm deep into hammers. I just got my 4 boxes of giant boxes of hammers. Yeah, I hadn't seen it. I hadn't looked. I got a solar panel.
Oh, here's what he's talking about. Yeah, what is that? Solar panel. But there's his 4-gallon backpack sprayer tool, $299.
Yeah, and then the new what is that? 880.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Blower. What was it before? 760.
Yeah.
Bumping it up.
765, right?
Oh. Where's the bike? That's what we need.
Get you a lawnmower.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for that, Neil. We'll get Matt up to speed on that. Ben, I like his comment here. He says, you got the entire Park Tool master set for Christmas.
Yep.
When all you really needed was a butter bell. Have you gotten a butter bell yet?
I still haven't.
No.
Goddamn. Yeah. No, I keep
Somebody's
thinking
on the
about it.
shop.
I've gone and thought about it at least a dozen times, and I'm going to go get that right now, and then I get sidetracked.
With everything else you buy, you skip over the butter.
It must not be that important to me. I should buy one on the podcast right now.
No? I'll go look it up. Steven, what would you recommend for a glass shower wall to prevent calcium spots? Arizona has hard water, and my walk-in shower gets the deposits. Is ceramic coat an option?
Yeah, I think so. You would use... I wouldn't want to use a traditional coating because they're going to be more water spot prone. And so I think what I would do is, and I've been planning on doing this for years, I just never did it. Clean it with, polish it. If there's hard water spots, you may need to get some Siri glass, CarPro Siri glass, to polish it. But normally you could just polish it with a microfiber pad and something like Sonex Cut Max, or whatever compound you have, Griot's fast correcting cream. It really doesn't matter. It just needs something to deep clean it. Then clean it with eraser, or even better would be panel wipe, like a real aggressive isopropyl alcohol. Clean it really, really well. And then I would coat it with a glass coating. So, something like Wolf's would probably last a long time on that. So I would be inclined to use that. Or, go get some heavy-duty glass coating, G-Technics or CarPros or something like that. And I think that would make a remarkable difference.
TDAZ250 wants to know, when's the next time you're going to have a lift in your garage?
When we do the design studio will be the next. We're going to have 2 lifts in there. It's going to be a 28-foot deep by roughly 54-foot wide garage with, say, 10, 11-foot ceilings. And so that'll be the next time I have a lift. So for now, I'm going to have to normie it with the rest of you.
Trera CP wants to know, how much do you want for the E92? Is it still for sale?
$200. Yeah, it's not really for sale, but yeah. The only reason I still probably lose money at $200. So what did I pay? $120 for it, and it has $50,000 brakes on the darn thing. So, and then add all the other crap to it. So yeah, if you want it, you have to pry it out of my hands. But if somebody gave me $200,000, I'd sell it. If not, it's going to become the mascot. We're redoing the entry here. It's going to be parked in the entry of HQ.
Let's see. David Crusoe wants to know, do you still have any E36 parts laying around?
No. Nope. It all went with it.
Let's see. Richard Potter says, Matt, that household spreadsheet is gold. My wife is still amazed how the DeMeyer pot handles stay cool.
Yeah. It's the silver bottom kind of decouples. They're so good.
Our buddy here close by, I think he's in Wildwood, Baloo says, Matt, expanding to Canada just before it becomes the 51st state.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
He's going to be my neighbor, right? Like
oh, yeah,
literally,
he's moving
like,
to Middleton, right?
Like 5 doors down, 4 doors down. Yep.
Deagle 456, beautiful podcast. Looks so good. Yeah, this is
we're looking crispy these days.
Change from the yellow other room.
This is Nick's photo studio. So we're commandeering it for the day. I like that word. That's a good
commandeering.
Yeah, it's a good old man word. Yeah.
Barney 13 wants to know, what do you use to clean rubber floor mats?
I generally don't. I just throw them away. So I would use Green Star, an all-purpose cleaner, and a brush, and scrub them up. And I just don't like, everybody dresses them like with the gummy fix from Coach Kemi. Everybody loves that. I just don't. I don't like that. It makes it slimy, and yeah, I know you can wipe it somewhat flat, but there's always like little cracks and crevices that sort of gets left over. And I don't want to work too hard for my floor mat, so I would just every year just buy new ones. But normally just take them out and put the 25-degree nozzle on the pressure washer and just hammer them, and then toss them back in there.
Detailing 101. Hello from CJC Detailing in Baltimore. That's our friend Cameron. Nice specs, Maddie. Nothing to ask. Almost a year in on my Krensla ownership. It's the best money I ever spent.
Yeah, so I wear rigid gas permeable contacts, RGP, rigid gas permeables. I not too many people prescribe them anymore. They're not bad. There's nothing bad about them, but they take a long time to get used to. Well, they prescribed them to me when I was 8th grade, so what is that, 13? Yeah, 13. I was 13 when I got contacts, and I have a mild stigmatism, and I had a little bit of eye float when I was younger, so they put prism in my glasses to get my eyes equal. And so I've had hard contacts forever, and what I always do is I buy 2 pairs of them, and so you can't wear them at night, but they last like 2 or 3 years. And so I bought 2 pairs, and I would just wear them every other day, so I get 4 years out of them. Well, I went a little too long, And so I ordered 2 more pairs. I had to go to the eye doctor and do the whole, eye check and all that crap, which I don't like doing. And so I was avoiding it, and I finally went and ordered, and now it takes 3 weeks to get them. So I just got these glasses today, so I'm trying to get used to them. But yeah, so I ordered 2 new pairs of glasses as well.
Tom Tarn says, how long till we get pouring spouts for the Bill Tamber 5-liter jugs? And we have them.
Do we?
Yeah, that's what that says. New products, Bill Tamber 5-liter dispensing tap.
Got it.
So I sent him the link. There it is. It's new in the store.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's going to come in handy for all you people who have those 5-liter traceless.
We got a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
You got Dorsalate.
Yeah.
You got the Blue Sound Note Icon pre-order. The Lock Inflate for your Milwaukee Air Inflator. What else is that there?
This thing.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna the track tire jack. I'll show you that. I got to swap the wheels and tires for Michelle, and I've also got to do the Bronco wheels. I got to coat those. So I'm gonna take those off. I just got a Pro Eagle jack, so I can jack up the.
And this will handle those 40-inch tires.
Yep, and it'll just slide it right off with like 2 fingers. It's gonna be great.
Nice.
We got our new hose reel mounts, which is OG version. We got, let's see, our labels are great. The Carhartt shirts are sweet. Got some new key tags.
They still have a few bottles of GFX left as well. So
yeah, some GFX, grab that. Got a lot of cool stuff.
When those are gone, they're gone till next November-ish. December this coming, I guess. Yeah, a lot of new stuff, yeah. Let's see. All right, back to this. Chris from Wales checking in. Really enjoyed the desk content of late. Budget version underway in my dining room / home office. Keep up the good work.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think that making videos the way that I make them has some value in that. I know I just make them the way that I would want to see them. And I know that I wouldn't buy everything that, whoever was making it suggested, but I at least get you, okay, let me piece this together. Gives you something to work toward, or something to at least make a list, save you a lot of trouble.
Obsessed Detailing Solutions wants to know, what are your thoughts on the new CR Spotless Pro? Seems like they cheaped out on the internals.
Yeah, I mean it's a DI related. It's an RO related system. That's why you have the receiver tank. So it's RO to DI, and so you have a tank that you fill up. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of space to take up. I think you guys are gonna really like our DI system. It doesn't render the. I mean, CR we can still coexist. I mean, I think we'll probably still sell the CR stuff, at least for the foreseeable future, because their style and size we're not trying to replicate. We're trying to make something a little bit different. To satisfy what I'm looking to have. But I think that our system eventually, when we do high flow RO, if we can make that function without a receiver tank, I think you're going to be in a much better spot. It's going to work a lot better.
Simon says, hey, Maddie and Chris, good morning from Australia. Loving the sessions with Rusty on Hex. It gives me different perspectives on how to deal with challenges. Hope it keeps going.
Yeah, I mean, we're planning on it. So that, for those of you who are wondering what he's talking about, that's called we're calling the podcast "Figuring Out Mentorship." I just put up episode 4. I think it's probably up right now. I uploaded it yesterday. Well, we'll have it up if it's not in the next day or so. But the concept is, Rusty's just, I don't know, he's real inquisitive, and he gets me talking about stuff. And so we're sort of talking about how to become a mentor. I'm figuring it out. I don't know how to become one, but I'm seeing if maybe I can figure it out through discussion. And so we're digging into topics deeper. I mean, the first episode was 4 hours, and then the other one was 3.5 hours, and the last 2 have been over 2.5 hours. So that's on Inside the Hex. 2 ways you can become a member. One is on obsessgarage.com. If you're thinking of doing Hex Plus, which is our membership platform where you get 10% off and free shipping and priority shipping, and also the content. You have to do that on the OG page or the OG site. If you also subscribe to the OG site, because there's no YouTube taking a giant cut, it's $8 a month or $60 a year. If you do it on YouTube, it's $15 a month. So you can do it on YouTube. The problem with our site is there's no notifications. You have to know to go there and look for it. Whereas on YouTube, you'll get an indication there's a new video. So that's another thing we've added to the list. It's also taken a little pressure off me when the guy was asking about vlogs, twice a week. I don't know that I've ever done a twice a week vlog, maybe once or twice, to make up for not doing one, for 2 or 3 weeks. When I started the Inside the Hex platform, I wanted to make sure that I only made videos when it made sense, not make them just to make them. So only when I have something to say, and so, I'm producing in there, I don't know how many videos a year, but let's say it's an average of 5 a month, so 60, 70 videos a year, something like that, 50 to 75 videos a year for $60, so $1 a video or so. I think it's worthwhile. I think you'll like it if you're interested in what we're doing. It's where I share the detail.
All right, Chris Skinner has a question for you. This relates to a fire engine. If you had to wash a large commercial vehicle weekly, how would you protect it and wash it to be as efficient as possible?
Yeah, I mean, I would tackle one section at a time, maybe break the fire engine up into like 12 sections or so. And I would, even if I was just doing it to clean it up, but I would polish that and then I would coat it, and so I'd coat that section. If you got a team of guys working on it, you could do it in a month or so, but you decon it first, do the full decon process, then polish it. And what you could do is decon and polish. So wash the whole thing, but decon one section. So do the iron removal and the clay barring of one section. Then dry it, then polish that section, then coat that section. Then the next time, wash it again, decon the next section, polish it, coat it. And you can do that, because you don't normally wash them like once a week or so, or maybe even more often than that, not more often than that. And then you can get to the point to where if you're washing it more than once a week, you could just built hammer it most of the time and not touch it because it's coated, and then do like a full contact wash, maybe once every couple of weeks, depending on the conditions and where you're at. But I would not try to tackle that whole thing all at once. I'd do it in small sections. You might have to do it in small sections because you might have to, you might get a call, might have to go out.
You got a super chat here, $4.99 from Nicholas K. Just curious on why did you have Mike coat your new exterior door in the garage? Maybe why didn't you?
Do what?
Just curious on why did you have Mike coat your new exterior door in the garage? But maybe he meant why didn't you have it?
I don't know what he's talking about. He's talking about maybe painting it.
Tell us, type it again, Nick. Well,
yeah.
I'll come back to it.
Maybe he's talking about its exterior opening.
Let's see. DE10, have you put any miles in the S-Works yet? If so, how is it?
Yeah, it's great. I needed a shorter stem, so I was trying to decide what to do. I'm a little too leaned over on it. I almost wish I bought a 56. I bought a 58. I'm a pretty solid 58 centimeter frame. And so it has a 110 millimeter stem, which just makes my freaking shoulders it's kind of just the wrong position. And so I was torn on its 90 millimeter, 80 millimeter. So I bought the 80 millimeter stem to swap out. And so, but I love that darn bike. I got it coated and set up. I need to get it tubeless. That's another thing. I bought some Fillmore valves, so I'll swap those over. And so I haven't been in town all that much, so I haven't been riding. It's been freaking cold as crap. So I've been doing more mountain biking, trail riding, whatever you want to call it. So we've been riding every Saturday. So I want to get a couple of rides in during the week. I just haven't had the time. It gets dark so early. So I also bought some lights so I can start riding at night as well. I was kind of hoping it would warm up a little bit.
Steven wants to know, does the door insulation still make sense if your garage walls aren't insulated?
I think so because, my garage is not insulated. Now, his may be framed, but, block has a little higher R value than just frame and exterior or whatever siding. But, yeah, it certainly can because the thinness of the metal door, it tends to it just transfers heat at such a higher rate than your walls do. So I think it still make a pretty substantial difference.
Nick Anderson wants to know, was there any process to coming up with your business name, or did it just come naturally? I'm starting a detailing business, and picking a good name has been a struggle. Thanks for all you do.
I've told this story a bunch. I'll tell it again for his sake. My original plan was to call the original YouTube channel was Matt Mormon. And then when I decided I was going to build a website, I wanted to call it that'sjunk.com. The joke in my family was if they ever asked about anything, like, hey, should I get a TCL TV? And I say, that's junk. No, you want a Pioneer Elite plasma or, whatever it was. Or, I'm thinking about getting these Falcon tires. That's junk. Get some Pilot Super Sports. And so they made me a Christmas card one time that said, that's junk, and named all the things that I think are junk or that I think aren't junk. And so it was like, if it's not Pioneer Elite, if it's not BMW, if it's not Porsche, then that's junk. And so I wanted the irony of it. I wanted to just stick it to the world and say, I'm going to get that'sjunk.com. And I couldn't get the URL. I tried to buy it, tried to find it, couldn't get it. And so my next choice, because I've been diagnosed with obsessive-compulsive disorder, was to call it Obsessed Garage. And so I knew I didn't want to call it my name, like Matt's Garage or something, because I thought, who knows where this is going to go, but maybe someday it would be worth something. And if it was, I wouldn't want my name, attached to it. And so Obsessed Garage made the most sense. And thank goodness I didn't get that'sjunk.com. That's for sure.
Let's see. Matt wants to know, how do wax/sealants hold up to touchless?
I don't know. I hadn't tested it. I did ask Pete about it. He said it should be fine. But my guess is it's probably going to cut your wax longevity time by, my gut would tell me 50%. But I'm not sure. I haven't tried it.
Shrez Guy says, good evening from Germany. Have a nice weekend. Nice. We got people all over. Good afternoon, guys. This is from Ricky. How did it go at the track, Matt?
It was great. My tires are 7 years old. I got to get them swapped. But I had a blast. It was just fun to, one of the things I decided to do was just kind of drive at whatever pace I wanted to drive. And so I don't know if did we put the video up yet?
It's not up yet. It's been uploaded, but it hasn't been published yet.
So I'm sure I'm going to get roasted because I'm getting passed by Miatas and stuff like that in my GT3 RS. So Ryan is, owning all of us in his MX-5, but track set up MX-5. And so, but I'm not staying in it, into the braking zone. So I'll lift early and just kind of cruise. It was a lot of fun. So we're going to go back every 6 weeks. A great group of guys. I put together a good group of 13 people. 12 of them, were able to make it. Alex wasn't able to make it, but he'll be there next time. And the way I'd set it up, it's a pretty sweet deal. The firm is not like Thermal Club or some fancy, the Autobahn Club or something like that. This is a single double wide modular trailer and porta potties, and you show up there and I rented the whole track. So it's a 1.6 mile, nice little course. Pavement's good. It's really clean. The pavement's clean, but there's no amenities, right? It's just really, really simple. And it's only about an hour and a half from us. And so to rent the track is normally $3,500 for the day. You can rent it and you get 6 hours of track time, which is insane. And so I called them and I was going to book maybe 4 events for the year and try to get a group of guys together to help pay for that. And she said, well, before you do that, I want to make you aware of what's called our corporate program. And so the corporate program allows you to pay, it's $10,000 for the year. You can technically book it every week for the year for $10,000. Every event you do, you have to pay $500 for the corner worker staff. So it costs whatever, what each event, if I do 10 events, would cost, $1,500. So I'm going to do 9 events, which is roughly every 6 weeks. We can add another one or subtract one if we want to. No big deal. And so it's $14,000 for the year. and then I divided that by 13, so it came up, what is that, $1,200 a person or something like that. So I just rounded it up to 1215 or 1250. So we all paid $1,250, and we get for the year, and so it ends up being, was that $150, $175 for 6 hours each time of track time, which is, I mean, a normal HBD event, like if you did Chin Motorsports, the entry might be $450 or something like that. You have to become a Porsche Club member, is another $150. You have to, and you're going to get 3, maybe 4 20-minute sessions with 50 other people on the track, 30 other people on the track. So, the cost is pretty incredible. So we had a blast. I thought it was a lot of fun. I was done by lunchtime. It was great. I probably drove for an hour and 10. I think I did like 75, 80 track miles or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And it was good. Blew through an entire tank, 24-gallon tank of gas, and felt good. We went home. It was great.
From 27 Motorsports. Hey, Matt, any news on the garage giveaway in Texas? Are you still waiting on the house/garage to get built?
Yeah, he's still in that's probably a late this year thing. He's going through the process of, permitting and construction and all that. So we got a ways to go.
Steven wants to know, is the only part that I'll need for my existing press hull bottle the tip and nothing else? Are the new labels with better adhesive the darker color that are already on the website?
Yes. So new labels are up. The tip would make a significant difference if you're not using Brake Buster, and you're using most normal like if you're not using Tarex, Brake Buster, Angel Wax Vision, the real caustic, real aggressive stuff. If you change the tip, your sprayer's probably going to last years. Just depending on what you're using. Believe it or not, McKee's and like O&R, those are pretty. The surfactant in there is pretty aggressive and pretty caustic to your sprayer heads. But if you're using most normal products, clay lubes and even things like eraser and stuff like that, you change the tip, and then you're good to go. I'm not sure what are the tips going to be, $3, $4, $5, something like that. They're not going to be cheap because they're T316, I think, stainless. And eventually we're going to have a metal reinforced plastic tip, which will be much, much, much less expensive. Those are coming as well. Not on this shipment, but in the future. But yeah, just change the tip. You'll be good to go. The new head does have a ton of improvements. Different seals, the tip, also the tube is a silicone tube, which is 360 degrees, so it's weighted silicone. So there's a lot of improvements, but if you don't want to spend the $10 or whatever that thing's going to cost, you just want to buy some tips, that's fine too. That'll work.
Brad, our buddy out west, says, glad to see a podcast. The room looks so much better.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Otto, when OG Canada is up and running, will it be announced anywhere?
Yeah, we'll have banner images. You'll know also because as soon as you log in, or as soon as you actually don't have to log in, as soon as you go to the site, assuming you're not using a VPN, it'll know.
Obsessed Detailing Solutions wants to know, hey, Matt, did you decide what your favorite pin is?
I did, and I just thinking about that. I don't remember what it's called. I'll get it for you. Maybe I'll put it on Instagram. I'll take a photo and put it on Instagram. But I narrowed it down, and now I'm keeping two sizes, 0.38 and 0.28. When I'm feeling real precise, go to the 0.28. But I think the 0.38 is the sweet spot. It's really sick. It's one of the Una something crap. I don't remember.
Alabama Man, this sounds like something you would type. No. Says, just stop being lazy and dry your shower glass after you shower. You'll never get water spills. Otto, yeah, you said that you're selling the E92, kind of. Would you consider doing a giveaway on that one?
No, I don't think so. If I was truly going to sell it, I would probably be better off doing a giveaway. But, there's only so much room for giveaways. And I'm doing the Amiras this year. So, I don't know. That might be the only giveaway we do this year.
Larry wants to know, I've been getting I've been having tough luck with my MTM foam cannon getting clogged.
Hmm.
I always rinse them after I use them to prevent the heads from clogging.
Mm-hmm.
I have pretty hard water. Maybe rinse with Spotless?
I mean, you're probably just going to want to have a bunch of filters on hand to replace. But that's what's getting clogged is that little charcoal-looking filter thingy in there. You pop the pin out, and then inside of there, yeah, that really stinks. I mean, I've beaten the crap out of mine and never washed them, rinsed them. But that hard water can be real nasty. I mean, the thing that would really solve your problem would be to get a whole house water softener. That would make a big difference.
Barbecue Jones, our buddy out in Arizona, says, "Hey guys, I'm assuming since it's not on the site any longer that you're done selling coffee and supplies."
Yes. I just put the kibosh on that. There's another old man word.
Commandeering.
Yeah,
Kibosh.
So we keep our tally here.
Yes, you're correct, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, the test was to bring in a subject matter expert, right? You bring in somebody else obsessed. They become the subject matter expert. We're going to test it out. And it was reasonably successful. We sold some stuff, provided people solutions of some things maybe they didn't know about. And then thanks to those of you who already knew about it but just honored the source anyway, I really appreciate that. But Luke just disappeared. Like he knows the product and is an expert, but he's not as obsessed with the whole function of business. Or maybe you made it a business decision that it's hard work to be like me. And so I don't know. So the guys were like kind of trying to cobble together. I'm like, this is not how we do things. Either we're choosing expertise. I talked about this with them inside the hacks. Either we're going to choose to bring in expertise and then leverage that to be able to make decisions on the best solution, or we're not going to do it. Because they're like, well, we found a local company that can provide us. Yeah, but we're missing the Luke. Who's Luke? I mean, you guys are kind of into it, but you're not as into it as he was. You're missing the Matt. Without that, then I'm not interested. And so I pulled the plug.
Nicholas, he was our guy from earlier asking about the door.
Okay.
So we got a little clarification. I just watched the door install video. I must have misunderstood. I'm assuming Mike just painted it then.
Yes.
Yeah, he painted the door.
Yeah. So painted it white on the interior or black on the exterior.
Let's see. From Rick Smith. Matt, there seem to be several UK brands coming to the States. Are there any that catch your eye?
Not that I know of.
Aside from Yum Cars.
Angel
obviously.
Wax is here. Built Hammer's now here through us. I'm not sure what other brands he's talking about. I don't really know of too many. I mean, there's Carbon Collective, I think is a UK brand if I'm not mistaken.
Invasion HD says, "Hey Matt, what's the ideal size for a 2-car garage? Also, what height and width door would you recommend?"
I'm gonna get in trouble. Look at all those packages on the porch. What was the question?
Ideal size for a 2-car garage first, and then height and width of the door that you'd recommend.
Yeah, so I think the suite, I mean, obviously you want it as big as possible, but I think if you can get 24 feet deep, and then if you're at least 22 feet wide, and then you have an 18-foot door, because that gives you a nice pocket on each side, so a wall pocket to put your pressure washer, and, if you've got, rakes and weed whackers and stuff like that, you can take care of that. But I think that 22 wide by 24 feet deep would be, ideal for a 2-car garage, assuming you can squeeze those dimensions. Now, if it's 26 feet deep, that's better. If it's 24 feet wide, that's better. But then you start to get into 3-car territory. But the bigger, the better. But I think a practical size, oversize, because a normal 2-car is like 20 by 20. Right? A real crappy one is 18 by 20 or something like that. So I think if you can get that, 22 feet and you get that extra depth, then you can fit a crew cab, F-150 or something in it, or you can fit an F-250, F-350 crew cab. You can fit if you have that extra depth.
All right, this is from Jack. Tire brush is great for cleaning rubber floor mats. Or
Yeah.
tire brush.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly just a big bristly, brush with some, but that has some stability to it.
Baloo says, I prefer dailies to normal contacts or RGPs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also like -11 and a quarter, -11, so I'm never going to see as well out of, like a daily contact or a soft contact as I am an RGP. So that's why I've kind of stayed with it. Now, I've never actually worn soft. I've worn the same contacts the whole time. But every time I go to an eye doctor, say, it'd be better if I could, or have 24 hours where you can leave them in, or if again, just throwaways or a soft contact. And each one of them always said, if you've been accustomed to full 20, better than 20/20 vision, at your advanced, nearsightedness, you're going to be disappointed in the clarity of doing, contacts that aren't semi-hards.
All right, we talked about 2-car garage. What is your ideal garage size for a 3-car garage? With the doors, would you recommend one big door for the 2-car and one single door for the third spot, or three
you
individual?
don't want single doors if you can help it, because you want, if you can get it, you need really a 10-foot wide single door. Because when you get into the 9 is okay, 8 is like unmanageable, because then you got to be like precise with even a sports car. So what they normally do on a 3-car with 3 doors is they do 3 8-footers, and then you're freaking screwed. You don't want that. So 2 things I think you absolutely want. You want an 18-foot single door, or 18-foot double door. And so the 18/16 makes it so much more manageable, especially parking and all that. And then you want at least a 9-foot. Getting a 10-foot and an 18-foot is going to be sort of impractical. But I think you want at least a 9-foot single car. You want them 8 feet tall as well. So if you can get an 8-foot tall door, that makes a huge difference. You can get pretty much any car in it. Shoot, the Bronco, the Raptor that are lifted can fit, in an 8-foot door. So 18 by 8. 9 by 8 would be the ideal setup. And then again, you want room between the door and the walls on the left and right if you can help it. So, in a perfect world, you have a much wider 3-car, so you can also open your door, so you would have something like 38 feet. I think minimum you want 31 to 32 feet wide with those 2 doors. I mean, that's what I have in Middleton. Mine's 24 and a half feet deep, 31 and a half feet wide. I have a 9-foot wide and an 18-foot wide door with 8-foot tall. I think that's the sort of the minimum standard. Anything bigger than that is better, right? Anything deeper, anything wider is better. But that's a nice standard where I can comfortably open up all my doors. I have room to fit things on the side. Mine's a little bit tight. My pressure washer system is going to poke a little bit into the 18-foot bay. But that's I think minimum ideal size. You can certainly do a smaller 3-car and still accomplish it, but you're going to be parking much closer together. That would be my recommendation. If you're square foot limited, 32 wide, 24 deep, 18 by 8, 9 by 8 door.
Mikey says that Liquid Elements has a T4500 Pro polisher.
Mm-hmm.
Would that ever be a consideration to carry in the store?
You have to remember that there's UL approval, and so those European versions may or may not work. We're also on 110 volts, and so we may not have the ability to bring some of those over. But sure, if it's available and they produce it, then we'll have it.
Alex wants to know, hey Matt, are bottle labels for the Solo bottle in the pipeline?
I don't think so. It's a real tough bottle to make a label for. You need that label needs to curve in 3 dimensions. So it needs to be some sort of heat shrinkable type, unless it's really small. We don't have anything on the horizon. I'm not saying we can't make it. We may at some point, but there isn't anything we're working on at the moment.
Dan wants to know, is there any update on the timeline for the DI system?
We're about to install mine, which is the final working prototype. I think we're sometime this quarter, so I think we're not far away.
Tucker says, hey Matt, I'm turning my old wooden barn into a detailing bay.
Okay.
I'm trying to do this for the least amount possible to get going. Any tips?
So what was it?
An old wooden barn.
So I think to start, I would want to get it as clean as possible. Right. This is like the drift car guy, right? Buys a drift car, but like skips step one, which is to clean it really well, and starts immediately wasting money on things that angle kits and bull crap like that. Just it only takes a weekend. Like deep clean it. Like get the engine bay clean, all the cracks and crevices, all the door jams and trunk jams. Get the engine bay clean the carpet, clean the darn thing. So same thing with your barn. Clean it. Get everything out of it. Throw away anything that you're even considering throwing away. So get all the stuff out. Take everything out of it. Deep clean it. Scrub the floors, clean the floors, get, dust bunnies and dirt and stuff. If the walls are exposed studs, vacuum out all the cracks and crevices, get all the sawdust and old cockroaches and all that stuff. Get it all clean, like super, super clean. Spend a week if you have to getting it clean. Then, I think your next steps are, you can cheaply probably paint it. If it's not drywalled, maybe you spray it, spray it black or Arbor Gray or something like that. And then you start to work on what you value most. I would generally do lighting next. So clean, paint, lights. Then you do flooring. Then cabinets. Actually, then accessories like pressure washers and stuff like that. Then cabinets at the end.
Aziz says, "Hey Matt, I wish you would be my cool neighbor. Greetings from the Netherlands." Nice. All over today. Let's see here. I'm happy to see Chris back. I was worried he'd been headhunted by turtle wax. Also, do you have any updates on the mythical Lotus Emira arrival?
No updates. We're looking at March, April, I think is the time frame.
Gus wants to know, if you owned a small residential/commercial HVAC business, what steps would you take to grow into a large-scale business?
I think you need to start. You need to think about people. I would hire a coach. Try to find some sort of business coach. I think the difficulty in a service-related business is to do too much on your own. Like you do too much. You have too many jobs. So the first thing you're going to have to do, like right off the bat, is probably give yourself a promotion, which means you're going to have to give up some of the things. If you want to get bigger, you're going to have to give up more because you're going to have to be doing deals. You're gonna have to take some risk. You might have to borrow some money because you may need to hire a good salesperson. You may need to hire an assistant, and these are the things that a good business coach could help you think through. But the struggle I would have is I've never been very good at like, okay, I'm gonna plan out my path here. Instead, I just kind of do it. And so I think you become a big business, not by accident, but maybe a little less intentionally. So I'm probably not the best person to give you advice on sitting down and putting a structure together on how do you increase the size of your business. But my guess is some of the reasons or some of the things that might hold you up are generally tied to you and things that you're holding on to that you should have somebody else doing. Which every time you give something like that up means that you're going to have to pay for it. And so then what are you giving up in order to gain the leverage? And then how much revenue is increased from that? And it's a risk and it's hard to give up those things. But I think the first step is figuring out how you can find a mentor or a coach. I would also spend a lot of time, take people maybe in other towns that you admire that do what you do to lunch. Get on a plane, get in your car, get on the road and go talk to them and ask them what they did. And don't copy what they did, but take that information and use it to put together your plan.
Daniel says you need to check out Melon hats. They are as OG as it gets.
Oh, melon hats?
Melon? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen one. We have a few of them here.
Yeah, Bryce and Nathan got some of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're actually making something similar with OG, because we can't buy those and brand those, but we're doing some things that are going to be better.
All right, Eric wants to know. I lost my internet there for a second. Sorry. Eric wants to know, would you use the rinseless or waterless, or maybe something else, concentrate to water ratio when looking to accomplish a touchless wash with McKee's N914? Car is coated with CSL.
So if he's talking about like using something like a snow foam, like Bilt Lambert touchless, adding a surfactant like that is going to kill the suds and probably affect the performance of the cleaning ability of the detergents and things in something like touchless. So you generally can't. You need to make a decision. I'm going to do a rinseless, something like McKee's, or Coach Chemi's Rapid Rinse, or O&R, or any of the others. Bradley's Hero, the Auto Armor Hero. If you're going to be doing these things and you put it in with soap, it generally kills the suds and kills then they just kind of don't work together. So, I mean, I know what you're trying to accomplish here, but generally speaking, if you're going to do a rinseless wash, do a rinseless wash. If you're going to do a pre-rinse or snow foam rinse and then a normal wash, then do that. So I think you need to make that choice, and trying to combine generally doesn't work.
Jack says hello from Scotland. We had somebody here visiting actually from Scotland not too long ago. Maybe that was you, Jack. Any suggestions?
I'd like to go there someday.
Yeah?
Yeah. Those are my people. Now, my people probably oppress them for more, but I'm both.
Gotcha.
I'm English, Irish, Scotch, Irish, and a little bit of German.
We'll add that to the calendar for 2026. Maybe.
Yeah.
Stephen wants to know, do you have any specific companies that you would recommend or suggest when it comes to landscape lighting?
Shoot. There's one that's really great. I can't remember the name of it, though. Yeah. So I guess the answer is no.
Keep thinking. It'll come to you.
No, I don't know it. It's not there. But I have seen it. I've touched it. I've been to their booth. I know what it is, but I can't remember the name of it. So sorry, I'm messing you up. I'm teasing you with it. It's really not cheap at all, but man, it's good stuff. I just can't remember what the brand was.
Let's see. Baloo is commenting here on your discussion earlier about that Miata that kept passing you.
Oh, Ryan, yeah.
Ryan was flying in that Miata. I never went around the same time as him, but he was always sending it every single time I saw him. Detailing Garage wants to know, hey, Matt, did you ever get my email about the big-ass fan?
Yeah, I don't need one at the moment. So,
all right, Dynan BMW 325i. Hey, Matt, I love Bilt Hamber Traceless. I have noticed one issue, though, concerning fogging. I live in Colorado, and when I initially turned the heat on, the windows fog. It never happened with invisible glass.
I noticed that on my sauna as I cleaned it with Traceless. But I wonder why that would be. What would be the difference? Is invisible glass leaving something behind? I don't know. Good question. I mean, generally when your windows fog, it means that they're not clean. So I wonder if, like, the interior windows of your car, you want to do the initial cleaning with invisible glass, like just hammer down on it, and then follow with Traceless to help with any potential streaking or anything. That's a good question. I'm going to have to play with that a little bit.
All right, our buddy from Germany, Schrey guy. Does OG have an HR department? Maybe the wrong place to ask, but I had questions about the application.
Yeah, Chris and Susie are our HR department. Yeah.
I'm handing lots of that off to Susie, but that's...
Yeah, so you email Chris at obsessedgarage.com.
I'll help you out.
He can help you for sure.
Andrew Hawk wants to know, hey, Matt, do you have any recommendations on either a 3/4 or a 1-inch hose. I have a sufficient supply for that size and plan to use it for general purposes.
Yeah, I mean, you want a Continental Frontier. They make it in 3/4 and 1 as well. I don't know who would make it for you, but it's the same hose that we use. We just do it in 1/2 inch, and so I mean, you really want that hose if you can get it. They make it in red and blue, and it's incredible.
Gary Barbecue Jones says, "Hey Matt, have you used that pellet grill yet?"
Yeah, I'm not so sure about it. So I do the steak, right? So what I've been doing is, season the steak with like carnivore black or salt and pepper. I'm telling you guys, just go right now. I don't get any affiliate credit here. Go to Hardcore Carnivore and get the carnivore black seasoning. You should buy some of this, Chris. It's incredible.
Okay.
See the black one right there? It's so good.
So just the black, you don't need all 37 flavors.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
I bought the whole pack, and it's been pretty good. The one they called Amplify is really good. Not so much for a steak, but like if you were going to eat some broccoli or something, I'm sure it'd be pretty good on it. But yeah, so I bought a case of carnivore black, and so season this. So first, take the steak out, room temperature.
Okay.
Right, get it at room temperature. Take it out of the package, pat it dry, then put carnivore black, and you want to douse it, like totally cover it.
Yeah, that's pretty
so that
generous.
has your salt and pepper in it as well, so you don't need to add any more salt. And then I set the smoker up to 275 degrees. So I got a Memphis like automatic smoker, and right now I'm smoking with hickory. So I bought Bear Mountain hickory pellets.
Lots of bags, as I recall.
Gosh, yeah, it's gonna be. It uses like, I don't know, a cup of pellets every time I cook a steak. So then I'll put the thermometer in, throw the steak on, cook the steak to about 90 degrees, which doesn't take very long. And I'm surprised that the grill doesn't take long to heat up either. I mean, just as long as a normal grill. So it's like dropping the pellets in digitally. Like you go and you set the temperature, and it like nails the temperature, 275 flat. The only thing with the smoker is you want to open it and close it quickly because it'll drop 50 degrees in a minute. So you want to put the thing in there reasonably quickly. So then I put it in there. It usually only takes maybe 15 minutes to get it to 90 degrees. Take it out, wrap it in foil, let it settle. Turn the smoker up to extreme flame because the Memphis has a flame like a searing setting. It takes about another maybe 7-8 minutes for the flame to for it to stoke the fire or whatever. So then I got a flame going, and then I'll essentially long sear it, maybe like 2 minutes on each side, and that'll bring it up to say 125, 130 degrees. And I've been toying with, what's the right amount of char do I want on the thing. The first time I did it, I got like no char, and it was just too. Maybe I'm just conditioned, but it's like too tender. It's like a ribeye. It's like perfectly cooked. You do it on a grill, you get kind of the seared, and then you get pink in the middle. Well, this one is like the same pink the whole way through. Super tender. Cooks it extremely evenly, gives you a little bit of smoky flavor with the carnivore blacks. It's pretty good, but I still think I like a regular grill better. But I'm gonna find out because I'm gonna have my Wolf grill installed here shortly in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I dig it. I mean, it's so much better than cooking on the 36-inch GE crap stove I got with the crap microwave above it. Man, it makes you really appreciate. Cook for 3 months in the house, smoking the whole house out, cooking on a cast iron skillet on the crap stove, versus doing it outside on a smoker. And it really makes you appreciate it.
Nicholas wants to know, what's the status on the OGHQ garage? Can't wait to see that come together.
So we're not doing the studio at OGHQ. We're doing it in the Middleton, studio down south. So I just reopened the process. Those guys kind of go on vacation for a couple of months during the the holidays. That bought me some time. And so what I did is I today worked on the specifics. I have to provide them with some particulars that they need to start the lease process. They're going to then provide me a letter of intent that I'll then review with Eddie, our attorney, and then we'll kind of go back and forth, negotiate the deal. I'm doing it in 3 phases, and so phase 1 will be the retail space where I'm going to build that studio garage. So what I was doing here is now going to become our bottling and assembly area instead.
Let's see. We got a couple suggestions for you on the outdoor lighting possibility here. Volt.
No, I know Volt.
Kichler. Kichler.
I don't think so.
Okay. John, notice you're rocking an Apple Watch Ultra.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Says.
This is my, I'm a relatable, normal guy, not wearing a
no more
fancy
Rolex.
Oh no, that's just today. Only because my closet's torn apart and my Rolexes had to go back in the back of the drawer, because all my crap's sitting on the floor again. So, but our closet systems are going to be dialed.
I saw them in process the other day. I think you're going to be excited.
Oh yeah, is it sweet? Nice.
Let's see. We have a super chat here from Patrick Collins. His first super chat. £9.99 sterling.
Ooh, that's big money.
Which, according to Google, is $12.16.
Ooh, thanks, man.
Nice. Greetings from the UK. Longtime fan. I'll be in Orlando in September.
Ooh.
And would love a tour of the Middleton House, OGHQ. Maybe meet Matt and Mike F. Should I email someone closer to the time about it?
For
Thanks.
sure. Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, come on by for sure. We'll give you the full tour, full suite.
Our buddy, Big Head James Clark, one of the Big Head Jameses. Afternoon, Matt and Chris. Hopefully I'll see you both at Cars and Culture next weekend. I'm planning on being here. I know Matt's going to be here. Matt, how's the Ubiquity solution working at the house? Let me know if I can help with the camera design. James. Yeah,
it's okay. Maybe you can log in and help me. I feel like I'm getting... So when I check my Centric app, I get 1.06 gigabyte download and like 0.99 upload. And yet,
quick.
When obviously there's going to be some parasitic loss. I was having a real issue. One of the cables wasn't terminated on the builder side, so I had Ryan come by it last night and kind of check it out because the AP upstairs. So I was trying to upload a video upstairs. I was only getting 90 megabits per second. Well, I checked he found in the app. I didn't check this before, but one of the APs was limited to FE, whatever that means, limited to 100 megabits per second. And so we terminated that. The other problem is that the mudroom AP kept dropping because we don't have enough power, right? And so I turned the mudroom one off. I ordered the switch I should have ordered, which is the one that has 180 watts of available PoE plus and PoE plus power. But I'm still only getting, even when I kind of cleaned it up, I'm only getting 750 at the most download, which makes sense, but 200 up. So I'm not sure why it's dropping off so substantially. So I got to figure that out.
I skipped over this question accidentally earlier here from Joseph. What's the difference between using Clarify Phobic versus Drying Aid as a topper on your windshield?
Clarify Phobic just has this magical, I don't know, it's connection with Wolf's, glass sealant. And Drying Aid's fine, but I feel like Clarify Phobic gives me that extra boost on the windshield. But it's certainly not necessary. It's a luxury thing. You know me. I'm all about the luxury, Chris.
Mm-hmm. Invasion HD. Mm-hmm. With regard to garage size questions, how about, is there any other things you would add to a new garage build if you're thinking about it, like a floor drain, etc.?
I mean, floor drain would always be amazing if you can get that without huge problems. You want dedicated 20s for a lot of different things. Like I would want two dedicated 20s for my future dual pressure washer setup. I want it plumbed, so I want it a hose bib or at bucket filler height in the garage. I want countertop height outlets, for behind my cabinets. Obviously, lots of wiring for lighting, because I'm going to want to light it very evenly. I'd love to have a attic above it if possible, so I could do some magic stairs if possible, or layer stairs. Shoot, what else do I want? I want a lot of different things. Basically, you just want to replicate my garage.
All right, let's see. Graydon. Oh, sorry. Let me go to this one first. Obsessed Detailing Solutions. Is the $1,000 price range compressor still in the works? It's been a little over a year since you first mentioned it.
Yeah, no. I haven't done anything. God dang it.
Again, it's on the very long short list.
Jeez. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me how much I'm sucking at this game.
You'll like this question here.
Okay.
I can feel it. Hey, Matt. I love all your videos, and I was wondering, have you ever considered using the MJJC foam cannons?
No.
I have the Griot's Boss, and it's great.
It's better, yeah.
But the MJJC is also pretty good. Thanks.
Well, so why do we need the jank Chinese version when we can use the good American version? It's better. So, no, not interested.
Scott Taylor says, hey, Matt, I'm currently got an A45 AMG and looking to get into my first M car.
Okay.
I'm considering an F80 M3 or an M2 Comp.
Mm-hmm.
You've had both. So which would you pick?
I don't really like either one of them because it has the S55. I mean, I'd probably do the M3 four-door. I just don't get an M4. The M4 is hideous. You'd want the M3 or M2 if you're going to do the two-door. I think you're on the right track. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd probably do the F80.
Dustin has a suggestion here. Matt, I know you have the spreadsheet for the kitchen and home accessories, but maybe a spreadsheet for building a garage would be a good idea as well. Something with all the specs you just mentioned.
Yeah.
That's a good thought.
What we're going to be coming up with is, like, for design, one of the things that has been a problem since day one, and I knew this would be part of the deal, more packages, oh boy, is that one of the things I wanted to create was a pathway so that people know what to expect, and that pathway also closes the person. So one of the difficulties in the process is people don't know what to expect. They don't know what things cost. And so we got to take them through the whole process before they ever have any idea, like, well, can I even do this? Obviously, our, Chris and Kyle and Brooke and Scott and the team, they're good at, kind of giving you a ballpark just pretty quickly. But until you go through it, it's kind of hard to know. But think about this: when you go buy a house, let's say you're buying a house from Lennar Homes or the Villages or something like that. They generally have models, right? Even if you're doing a custom home, they're giving you a base price, right? If you were doing a custom home, they're going to give you, your base per square foot, and if it's cost plus, so there's whatever the cost of materials are, and then they'll say they're doing it cost plus 20 or cost plus 30%. That's how the contractor's making their money. And so you go out and find the best deal on your roof shingles and all the trusses and your spray foam insulation and everything, and they're adding a markup to it for their service of putting it all together. So, but you're still going to have a base price per square foot. All right, it starts at $350 a square foot to build this custom home, and that's the base price. And as you start adding things that are over and above the base, then you're that's on you. But most of the time, most people are going to go buy a home from a builder. They've got 20 different models, and they all have a base price. So we need to build that out for people. And so that's something we're going to be working on, especially with our local design studio, because we can't keep taking people through this massive 20-hour tour, and they don't frickin' buy anything. You got to get some money from them. So when you go to Lennar, they're not going to – Lennar's not a good example. Let's say you go to the Villages. You're not going through the design process until you've given a deposit, right? So I put a deposit. I lock my lot down. Before that deposit, you can go look at the house as many times as you want. look at different models. So we're going to create models that people can look at the models as much as they want. We'll walk you through it, but we want a commitment here. And so we're going to create what he's talking about, which would be base like models and layouts of garages. This is a this is a 2-car, this is a 3-car, and then we'll have a good, better, best. Basic, advanced, ultimate. And then we'll have a 3-car, a 4-car, a 6-car, a car barn, a detail studio. So we'll have different professional, models as well as others. And then from there, once you pay your deposit, then we go full custom. Spend as much time as you need, build it out completely. But we need a commitment that when your invoices get sent, that you're going to pay for it. So that's something we're working on. And I always knew this. We'd get to this point someday. But I would say, what do you think the statistics are? 2/3 of the garages that they design don't actually buy it. And they're not trying to waste our time. It's just a real fun process to go through, and we want people to go through the process. But we also want to share with people, all the details and really, take them through the tour and make sure they understand. Because someday they're probably going to buy it. I don't think anybody going through the process, very rarely is somebody not going to buy it long term. But we need to have, because the buyers that are purchasing have to wait quite a while to get through the process, and so. Because we're only closing 1/3 of the garages we're going through, we can't have like this whole giant staff of people. And so the point would be to make sure that we're showing people a good time and building that pipeline, making sure that to go through the entire process, we've got a point where you put a substantial amount of money down to commit. And that commitment actually helps a lot of people in the process too. If you know what to expect, that commitment, and I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. It's just here, and we're going to be very soft with this. Hey, we're going to show you as many models as you want, and then when you're ready to go through the customization, and we're going to give you some ballpark of what the customization would cost before you go and commit. But then you commit your deposit, and that deposit then, buys you the full custom design, so we can put it all together, and at the end of it, send your invoices, and you pay that at the end. So to answer his question, we will be building this out.
All right, this is from Luke in the UK. Hey, Matt, I'm considering purchasing the BDI Linea 6221 desk.
Okay.
Do you think it's a good model, or should I just go for the sequel 2610?
I think they're all great. It just depends on, do you want the return? Do you want the L shape? And then it matters, whether you do sequel. But I think they're all great. I mean, I think it depends on your style. All the wire management's awesome. The internet doesn't like it. People say, I could get that at Office Depot for $200. I said, okay, all right. I've been searching for this for a long time. And this desk here is a lot more money than just the top alone is 2 or 3 times the price of what BDI is putting together.
Hey, Matt, do you have any good recommendations on a good battery maintainer that can be used for a vehicle being stored outdoors?
I mean, you'd just probably want to tuck it under the engine bay and just run an extension cord. But I mean, C-Tech and Ego. C-Tech is one. What's that company? It's not Ego. Echo. Air. What's the one I have? Noco. Okay, yeah, Noco. The Noco stuff's good.
Noco.
Mm-hmm.
Aziz may have watched your CES video here. Hey, Matt, are you thinking of selling a vacuum floor mat system for entering a garage with clean shoes?
I was thinking about it, man. That thing's pretty sick. I'm gonna reach out to those guys and get one. I mean, they were all 3D printed, so they're not produced yet, but I thought that thing was really cool.
Jason is going to overhaul his garage.
Okay.
Should he do Cree LS Linear or DMF can lights? My garage is roughly 22 by 24.
I would do Cree for sure. I mean, unless you want to do 50, 40, DMF lights that are $200 a piece. I mean, I would do Cree. I mean, the advantage of doing recessed lighting is it's a little, if you're going for that like porcelain tile, really minimalist, super clean look, the Cree lights probably wouldn't be preferred, but I would do those. It's such more, significantly more light output and a whole lot less money.
Couple quick questions here. Life of Vito. Hey, Matt, do you allow facial recognition on your iPhone?
Yes.
And when using a legal pad, Sonny wants to know,
Uh-huh.
you're done with a page.
Uh-huh.
Do you tear it out or flip it over?
Oh, tear it out. Throw it away. The only time I flip it over is if I'm like, I don't know, if I'm in the project and it's multiple pages, but I would tear it out and throw it away. I don't keep anything like that. I probably should have, for someday when I write my novel.
Your memoirs.
If anybody would read it.
Matt, if I want to get a copy of the list of items used throughout the house, how can I get that?
Just shoot me an email, matt@obsessedgarage.com.
Bill wants to know, have you ordered Buckeye amps yet? And what did you go with?
Yes. Well, sort of. I bought Rusty's. So we did the Encore 8 channels, and those are in Helen. And then I'm probably going to do the Buckeyes in my home theater. So I might even do just all the monoblocks. Be kind of sick.
I was talking with Rusty the other day. He said you guys figured out that all you do is basically just buy and sell from each other. You just trade back and forth. Right. Patrick says, I can't wait for OG UK. Taxes and import duties are a killer over here.
Mm-hmm. I'm working on it.
Steven, with regard to steaks here, I do what Joe Rogan does for my steaks. Smoke it around 100 at 225.
Uh-huh.
Then I throw them on the grill to finish at 125 so that you have that sear.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the Memphis gives you the ability to do, is to char it, sear it, but over open flame, which is not as quick as the infrared, but that's probably what I'll end up doing.
Dustin wants to know, with the new studio change, what about Rytec doors? Are you still putting some of those somewhere?
Yep, 3 of them. 3 clear, they're Lexan, but they're clear garage doors is the plan.
Let's see here. Steven wants to know, where's Mike F. been, and when is his garage and kitchen coming? Poor guy's been waiting since LZ's house remodeling for his kitchen.
No, I think he's been working on. He had a lot of prep work to do before doing the kitchen. He has all the stuff, so all the cabinets and everything are there. And I know he was painting the exterior of the house, so he wanted to get everything painted before he did that, and had to install a fan and do some wiring and stuff like that. So, he's been at my house kind of finishing up the Mike and Mike videos. I mean, we showed you slat wall, but I did a giant amount of slat wall, and each section takes like half a darn day. So, because you got to put 50 Tapcons in. And so, I mean, there's only so much slat wall we can show you. So he's working on that, working on painting the doors and doing baseboards and all that boring crap. And so, we'll be on to a really cool project. We're doing a normal 2.5 car at Joe Pachette's house. So that'll be a Sonic and Swiss Tracks Cree lighting setup. That's going to be pretty sweet. So that project we're going to start, I think, not next week, the following week. So next week is closets. So we're going to be doing, Mike and I will be doing and Jared will be doing the new OG Aspire closets. And then we'll be doing that project at Joe's house.
Jamie says, I'm looking to buy a Porsche.
Okay.
Should I go 981 Cayman S or 718 Cayman base? My budget is around $60K.
I would do 981 Cayman S.
And then Baloo says 981 Cayman S as someone who has owned both of them, 718 T and a 981S.
Yep. I think unless you're going to go 718 GT4, I'm inclined. I would prefer the 981, or if you're going to do 718 GTS or something, then I would prefer that. But yeah, I'd rather have the 918. It sounds better, especially if you can get in a manual, less money. I had somebody asking me that the other day, and they were looking at the 4-cylinder 718. I think that's the 718. I think is a 4-cylinder turbo. You want the 3.4 liter inline 6. Is it inline 6? Flat 6, not inline 6. Flat 6.
Gotcha. So that's a $60K budget car?
Or less, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Depending on how many miles.
Let's see. When are we getting more info on those scent bags?
Ooh. It's coming soon. They're in production, I believe. They're so good.
TRD37, do you suggest the Merca with a 2.5 battery or the 5 battery?
Definitely 2.5s. It's nice to have a 5, but I would do the 2.5.
The True Pro Home Cinema Sound says, "Hey Matt, how come you don't own Dolby CP200? It's the highest in-game processor made in 1980 and still used at the highest cinemas in the world, including BFI London and my private high-end game THX Pro."
I don't even know what that is. That sounds like that's probably a professional gear thingy.
Dolby CP200. All right. Let's see. Darn, I missed Otto's question on OG Canada. Those of us north of the wall need to know. I've got lots of OG stuff in my cart. The shipping and duty, though, also
it's brutal. Yeah. So remember, pressure washing first.
Pressure washing solutions
first. Then we'll be rolling things out, and we'll be announcing them because I want to sell them to you. And so we'll be doing a lot of pre-ordering and announcing of things as we launch it. So that's something I think you're going to want to keep an eye out for.
There you go. There's your Dolby CP200.
I don't know what that is. Yeah,
that's old school right there.
Yeah.
Aziz says, "Hey Matt, tell us how good of a skateboarder you were back in the day."
Not great. I mean, I was like flat ground 360 flip level. I was right at the edge of like doing handrails, like it was like 3-step and like, but not like grinding, not 50-50 a handrail, but like maybe board slide, tap slide a handrail. We would try it, but not quite do it. I could ollie. How many decks did I do? 5 or 6, maybe 6 decks. But I had no balls. I wasn't, some of my friends would just go bomb like, 12 stairs and just bust their head. I wasn't doing that. So I couldn't drop like a full half pipe. I was more just doing, like just ollieing off launch ramps. And so I could 360 flip, I could never like backside 180 flip, heel flip. I could ollie pretty well, but I could never do like the big stuff. I was too scared.
And then have you broken out that skateboard that you built?
Yeah, I did. And it was a lot harder for me I had to go in the grass and just get under the, I could probably ollie a deck, I only did it once. So, but in 10 minutes I could, get the board off the ground. I could 180, but I needed to like go out and ride it a bunch more.
Super Nate says, "Sorry if this has been asked already. I just tuned in. Is there a general date for the rest of the Built Hamper products to be brought into OG?"
I'm not sure yet.
Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know. That was open-ended. Yeah, I don't know yet.
B-Fraz, late to the feed, just saw you listed the new garage door insulation. If I already have a foam kit in my doors, is this new system worth it? Will I notice any increase in R value?
Yeah, it will. It'll send the heat back because your foam kit has a bunch of gaps. So if you took an IR camera or thermal camera and you would see all the seepage. So the combination of the two is the best combo because it will also help. The foam will help with keeping the heat in. And then the barrier, the dorsalate, will help keep the heat out, and it will also clean up the look. You get a little bit of kind of wobbliness of the material because it's not pulled taut. It has to go over the hinges and all that stuff. But I think you'll see a substantial difference.
Yeah, anytime anyone comes to visit OGHQ, you should go to that garage door and just feel it. You can.
It's wild. Yeah,
it's pretty impressive. Let's see. I missed it. What is about to get announced? Lots of things, Nick. Lots of things. You gotta stay tuned. Classic Carson. Why have you never had a motorcycle?
I had one. Yeah, I got a YZF R6 in 2006. No, 2005. I think is when I got it. I put 900 miles on it, and it's not for me. Got pulled over for doing 87 in a 35. Sold it the next week. Lost a couple $1,000. It was terrible.
87 at 35.
Yeah, that was a stinger. I got sent to the alcoholics driver improvement class. I was the only one that ever had a license. It was a 12-hour driver improvement class. It was 4 points or whatever, and it was terrible. It was judge remanded.
Yeah. It's like an old PE coach teaching the class. Yeah.
No, it was this attorney trying to sell us prepaid legal services. So we spent, each whatever hour session, 10 minutes on the curriculum and 50 minutes on him talking about the virtues of prepaid legal services.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Learned your lesson.
Yeah.
Are you exclusive on Built Hamper in Canada? Scott wants to know. Carzilla up in Calgary has plenty in stock.
Yeah, not yet. I don't know how that worked out. They should be buying it from us.
Neil says Mike F should build you a half pipe out behind OGHQ. Want to go straight to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Finner wants to know, do you play many video games with your kids?
None.
And then what is going to be the fate of the shed that Mike built? That's a good question.
I don't know. Don't tell me about it.
Yeah, it's still up in the air, Ben.
We're in Hawk with the Lady Lake.
Yeah, the right person drove up and saw it. And
should we just
we're working
light it
through
on
that.
fire? Yeah.
Last question here, maybe one or two. Where do I find Chris or Susie's OG email? It's super easy. Chris, CHRIS at obsessedgarage.com. That's from our Shrez guy from Germany. Last question. Hey, Matt, are there any cons to using 90-degree fittings on the air compressor setup?
I don't think so. No. I mean, I guess maybe you can have water issues, but I mean, air will move through that 90, no problem.
All right, that's all we got for this week. Now, before we go, though,
okay,
do you want to look at the butter bell here?
That's the real deal butter bell?
Yeah, these are the official. And I was trying to sort by price, most expensive to least, just for you.
Okay.
But they're all like $32.95 and below.
I need to find a better one, like a French, vintage French one or something like that.
I'm sure if you looked on eBay,
I bet you'd like that cow one there. Maybe that's something you would get.
If it were on sale, I would snag it.
Yeah.
I went straight to the sales section. Look at that one. That's a good looking one. Blue and white, $28.95. It's $4 off.
So would that entice you, that $4?
That would, yeah. This one would not. I would, even if it would save me $5, but I wouldn't. That's a little too much.
Christmas honeybee.
Yeah, I'm not getting that.
What about the white one? That's not on sale.
All this stuff
like
is
a
on
double
sale.
pack.
This is a set of 2. Those are smaller ones.
That's for like a You get your pancakes there, your croissant. Yeah.
The croissant's like 90% butter already. You don't need any more butter.
Got your cup of coffee there.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how coffee is like this acceptable.
Oh, here we go.
All these health people is like, yeah, I mean, I'm doing this health and that health, and I have my coffee in the morning. Like, how does that fit in? I don't understand why that fits in. It makes no sense. Just an acceptable drug. Everybody's cool with.
Acceptable.
Yeah. Everybody's cool with. Yet you get off of it and you get a splitting migraine headache and you can't function. I don't understand how that's acceptable.
All right, so I'm 90% sure my grandmother owned that one with the flowers on it. And this one, here you go. This one's $40. It's a matte bronze.
I like how they shave it like flat like that.
Yeah, you use your spreader and.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do it.
And I think you'll like this too because you have to like replace the water every couple of days. So it's kind of like seasoning your pans and all that stuff.
What do you do with it? You have to put water in there?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean? You put it in the bottom?
Prepare the butter, pack the butter, remove the air pockets. Yeah, there's, how many steps? 6 steps. Fill the base with water.
What base?
It's 2 pieces. So the butter goes in that part.
Oh,
and the water goes in here.
You fill the whole thing?
That's what it says. Fill the base of the crock with cold filtered or tap water. The amount of water in the base is about 1 inch in depth or a third of a cup. There you go.
Okay, so there must be a line inside of it.
Yeah.
And it will push out the rest of the water, I guess.
Change the water every 2 to 3 days with fresh cold water for best results.
Whoa.
See, I thought you'd be all about that, didn't you?
No, this is more work than I'm thinking here.
All right, you have a video.
I didn't know that part. I thought you just put it in the butter bell and left it on the counter.
No, you gotta maintain. You gotta tend to your butter every 2 or 3 days. But look how perfect that is.
Yeah, that's smooth right there, dude. Smooth operation.
You could get your.
I don't butter anything though anymore.
Kerrygold.
I just
shove it in there.
I cut the butter and put it. The only thing I use butter for are my eggs. So this butter bell thing isn't going to help me much unless I'm doing carnivore plus. I'm not getting one now. Because now I got to change the water every 3 days. I don't like that. Can I hire someone to change the water for me every 3 days?
Just make one of your kids do it. That's one of their chores.
Yeah, that'll never get done. Freaking slackers.
All right, here we go. Last comment here. This is from Ben with regard to the Butterbell. I have to say Butterbell only if you can't stand butter in a dish for some inexplicable reason. I wasn't saying it's the way.
Oh.
So if you don't like it in a dish. But hey,
What I don't understand dish. What did I just take the freaking thing and I peel back a little bit and cut it. And,
right. Out of the fridge though, or you have it sitting on the
fridge,
on the counter?
So that's real annoying when you need to like slice of butter and it's freaking
soft,
hard as a rock.
Yeah. That's where the Butterbell comes in.
When you're going off the wagon and the only thing in the house are wheat thins and you're like trying to make them taste better, and so you take the butter and
that might enable you. Maybe you don't need the Butterbell.
Joel
wants to know.
Stick my tongue in that thing. Just eat it.
Should I coat single stage paint with CSL XO?
Yes.
All right. Thanks everybody for your questions. Appreciate it. We'll see you next week.
Maybe.
Keep checking in, maybe,
Probably.
or we might see you again in 2 months. Who knows?
Probably.
Bye.
We'll see.